So how's the job market in your neck of the woods? That's the subject of today's video, and I'm asking you for your help because I can't possibly visit all these cities, and know exactly for myself on the ground. And that's why I ask you because as we go through some various metro regions, you'll be able to say, hey, yes, they're hiring. No, they're not hiring. Hey, I heard from a friend that this said this that works at said company. And it's very different than what you necessarily get in the news. This is what the news is, though, which I do want to go over with you guys. It says U.S. jobless claims fell last week. Okay. It also says here, that was Wall Street Journal. It says Bloomberg, U.S. initial jobless claims declined for fifth straight week. Okay. And you have to understand sort of why you need to dig in these numbers. So if you read this stuff, and this is what the Trump people have been saying, oh my God, guys, the economy's strong. Look at jobless claims are going down, but it's not exactly as they make it appear. So what they're referring to, this the last couple of weeks, is U.S. initial jobless claims. So that would be people who, for the first time, said, hey, I don't got a job, right? So maybe that number of people have gone down. However, U.S. continuing jobless claims, people that have been saying, hey, I don't have a job, and that keeps adding up. That literally just keeps going up. And my understanding, I think unemployment's at about 4.2%, and you're looking at around 2 million people unemployed. The numbers could be higher, and it's always hard to know the real unemployment because you have to think about people who just aren't reporting anything, people who have just given up, and also people who may have a job, but it may not necessarily pay enough to keep up with inflation. The Trump people will try to tell you that there's no inflation and gasoline is like $1.98 or whatever, under $2. But that's where I have to ask you: is it really under $2? And every time I ask you guys that, you're like, no, it's definitely not. And so these kind of things I always have to ask you guys as well. When the Trump people say, hey, everyone's getting a job and they're promising you all of these factory jobs, and I guess you're all going to work in AI factories, and these AI factories are going to ultimately replace you. Like, the logic doesn't really make sense. But I always just ask you honest questions. Have you heard of people being hired in your neck of the woods? Because it's always different than when we look at national data. It matters more greatly to you of like what's happening to you, your family, and your friends regarding the job market. ADP came out with this really interesting report, which I want to go over with you guys. It says you've graduated, now what? And this is on July 18th, 2025. They say that there's 4 questions that you should ask when you're young. How strong is the job market for college graduates like me? And how does it compare to occupations that don't require my degree? 2, where will my starting salary go the farthest based on the local cost of living, right? That's an affordability question. 3, where am I more likely to get hired, right? Where can I go to get a job? And 4, where can I find the best combination of wages, affordability, and robust hiring? The first thing I want to say about this is that if you haven't already, pick up a copy of my book. It's called Positive Angle. I actually talk quite a bit about this because if you want to be successful in today's world, it's just how it is. You got to go to the city that's going to offer the most opportunity for you. And that was a big section of my book because when I was a kid, people all, around me are just like stay in one place all their life and then wonder why they don't go anywhere. And I don't mean go anywhere in terms of like go to the cities, but not go anywhere in their life. And one of the big things you have to do in today's marketplace is you got to go where the work is. That's what it is. Now, according to ADP, they're saying, hey, the work is in like these kind of places and it's affordable, at least according to them. And this is sort of why I need to ask you guys, do you agree with some of these numbers and things? So it says greater affordability, higher pay, and strong hiring. And the metros that ADP is saying where theoretically is livable is Raleigh, North Carolina, that area. So it'd be the Research Triangle, and I think that's like the top city at the moment for this stuff. Milwaukee, Waukesha, and West Allis, Wisconsin. So the Milwaukee metro area in Wisconsin. Baltimore, Columbia, and Towson area in Maryland. And then also Austin and Round Rock area in Texas. The different ways you rate this stuff is wages, like how much they pay you, hiring rate, or is anyone hiring, and is the place affordable? Now, it's going to be hard to find affordable places when you also have jobs and stuff, because the more people that have jobs, the more money's in the community, makes prices go up, right? It's easy to understand. And then the opposite would be if there's less opportunity at said places and, no economic activity, then yes, it may be affordable, but who can live there because there's no jobs? Because I'm sure you guys know what I'm saying. Let's read a little more description of this stuff. Raleigh holds its crown. It says, once again, Raleigh claimed the top spot, so I guess for a couple of years now. North Carolina's Research Triangle region consistently draws an influx of people attracted by its job opportunities. comparatively affordable cost of living, and strong hiring. And then I guess Atlanta really dropped. So this is in percentiles. So Atlanta, which ranked 94th in combined percentile, again, percentile, then 2024 dropped 70 places after its hiring rate fell. So I guess they're not hiring in Atlanta anymore, according to this. Milwaukee, Wisconsin region rose to 98th, again, percentile, from 56th, leaping over Greater Baltimore and Austin after its hiring rate jumped from 2.3 to 3.7. So I guess they're hiring in Milwaukee. And this is the kind of stuff where I like to have a community with you guys, because I don't know. I don't live in Milwaukee right now. Are they hiring? Let me know. I mean, is that what you're hearing from everyone? And you know, do you agree that it's affordable there? Are they paying a decent wage? That kind of stuff. These are just sort of overall numbers to give you a general sense of it, so you have an idea. But I'd like to hear from you. This is interesting as well. Trading higher wages and hiring for mid-range affordability. So I guess the idea would be in some of these other places, maybe you're not going to get paid so much. Maybe that no one's hiring, but hey, it's affordable. So that would be Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Newport News. That's in Virginia, right? That area. Salt Lake would also categorize as here. Riverside, San Bernardino, Ontario, California. These kind of places. And then you also got Hartford in this sort of thing. Boy, Hartford's an interesting one. I'm looking at it here, and it's like the same chart as Salt Lake. I guess the wages are decent. It's maybe somewhat affordable, but no one's hiring. So, you know, good luck with that. But, you know, this also depends too on for those people who are older and retiring, where are you thinking about living? Because as you guys know, when you move to different phases of your life, you know, your needs are different, right? You might want to downsize a bit because you're not working like you were and you have a fixed income, and you guys know this kind of stuff, and you want to find somewhere that's affordable, which is tough in USA. There's not that many places, but I mean, these are just some places. And also these kind of discussions don't take into account, you know, cultural, meaning like, do you fit in the city that you're at? Do you feel comfortable in a said place? Because it matters. You want to, you know, have neighbors that you like. It matters, you know. Do you like the weather? Are there activities that you like to do, et cetera, right? Everyone's going to find a place that makes sense for them. But we're just talking about money, because money obviously matters. Affordable metros with robust hiring, but lower wages. Okay, so it's affordable to live here, but they just don't pay you that much. So they're saying here, Tucson, Arizona would fit this category. Tulsa, Oklahoma, Cleveland, Ohio, and Birmingham. And I don't know Hoover area, but I'm sure it's near Birmingham. But the Birmingham area of Alabama is the area that they're claiming. So that would be affordable metros with robust hiring but lower wages. And the other thing I was thinking about, like in these places, is when you talk about, you know, affordability. Like, yes, it could be affordable, but doesn't mean it's good. Some of these places, maybe like Tulsa or Birmingham, culturally it would be pretty tough for myself to live in, just to be honest with you guys. Arizona or Cleveland could probably swing it. Yeah, there's that. But then the problem is that if you want to go to like a really desirable area, and everyone's opinion is gonna be different, but you know, I like so for example here, these are expensive metros with high wages if you can find work, right? So Boston area, San Jose area, San Francisco area, like New York area, right? It's really expensive to live in these places, and it's tough to find work. And then, you know, you can see the affordability charts are near the zero. So you got to always balance this stuff out. And that's why they're saying actually Raleigh is the top of the list. But here's the other, and again, this is all going to depend on you, but I want to give you some more areas. So combined percentile ranking, and would be, you're looking at wages, affordability, right? And then how much it costs how much they're going to pay you, or how much are they hiring? So all this together. So the number one then would be Raleigh. After that, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and then you got Baltimore, then Austin, Birmingham. Denver's up there, so that's the 91th percentile. And I think we have a lot of people in the community that are living in the Denver area. So I'm just curious if you guys agree with this stuff. Do they pay you decent wages, you know, in relation to the cost of living, and are they indeed hiring? Nashville's on the list. My understanding though is Nashville's really expensive, so I'm kind of curious on that one. Phoenix is there. Orlando theoretically is on the list, and then you have New York also. So again, this is combining all of these things. And let me read the hiring rate description, because I know people are probably kind of curious on that. So according to them, how they determine hiring rate, it says, each month we counted the number of people aged 20 to 29 who were hired in the previous 12 months into jobs requiring considerable preparation, typically a bachelor's degree, and the number of people in that same group who were employed in those jobs during the same period. We divided hires by employment. So you have to understand they're only looking at a certain segment of young people, but for people who are just graduating now, these certainly things do matter, and also sort of reflects, is the industry / companies in that region growing. So that's what's going on with the job market. I do, again, want to hear from you guys. When you see this list, do you agree with some of these things? Are there some cities that are left out that we didn't talk about? Or are there some cities you're just like, I totally don't agree. No one's hiring there at all. It's totally not affordable. I just want to hear your thoughts on this. I do appreciate your time, everyone, and I'll catch you all in the next video.